Welcome once again to another episode of our business studies presentation. Today I'm presenting on operations management for business studies, and I would like to tackle on inventory control charts. But before I get there, I want you to know that operations management is basically part of business organization function, which actually involves issues to do with production, inventory management, quality management, etc. So today we are on inventory management, which is a very important function of operations management that ensures that the business at any given point in time does not overstock, neither does it understock. So in other words, the main function of inventory management is to ensure that we do not keep unnecessary stock or inventory, neither do we keep very little stock than what we require. So we ensure that we have adequate stock to meet the organizational requirements as well as customer demand. Okay. Remember, inventory is made up of three forms. We have three forms of inventory, which is raw materials and components, work in progress, and finished goods. Businesses actually keep inventory for several reasons, like for example, to be able to meet customer demand, to ensure that production is consistent, to avoid what we call bottlenecks in production. We need to have raw materials of inventories of raw materials. To meet customer demand, we need to have inventories of finished goods as well. So that's how we need to keep inventories. But at the same time, you need to know that as we keep inventories, there are also costs of keeping inventories. It's an examinable part of this topic. The cost of keeping inventories, whereby we have things like opportunity cost, okay, whereby the money that is actually used to as part of inventory, that is held as inventory, could have been probably used somewhere else where it would have earned profit for the business. So there's opportunity cost involved by us keeping inventory. Some goods also may just deteriorate or become obsolete as we keep them. That's also a cost as well. There are also storage costs like security cost, warehousing costs, refrigeration costs, or any other temperature regulation cost that may be involved as we keep inventory. But at the same time, know that if we don't keep inventory, that is enough. We also suffer from what we call inventory out cost. These are costs of running out of stock. Like for example, lost sales. A customer comes sometimes they want to buy and then they can't get something from you that they're looking for. Customer layout is also lost. You also lose market share to competitors, to mention but a few. Those are called inventory out costs. So in other words, in brief, we do inventory management to reduce inventory holding cost and avoid inventory out costs, which are costs of running out of inventory. As part of inventory management, managers can use what we call inventory control charts. So if you look at what I have here, this is what we call an inventory control chart. With me here, if you look at this one, this is our maximum inventory level, okay, which is 60,000. And this curve that you see, this graph that you see here, is actually showing usage of inventory. Like in this case, you see that we started with 60,000 units of this particular product, and we actually sold or used until we were left with 10,000 by week what? Week 1. Okay? So this vertical line you're seeing here shows that we've bought some more inventory now from our suppliers, and our inventory levels go up back to what? To 60,000 here. Okay? So you should be able to pick something. Like in this case, if we actually use inventory from 60 to 10,000, it means that we used how much? We used 60 minus 10,000. So we used 50,000 units. Right? And when we actually bought, we bought some quantity and we went back to 60,000, which means that we bought also how much? 50,000. This is called our reorder quantity, which means that this particular business is buying in quantities of 50,000. Okay? But at the same time, I want to add something that you also need to know before I get there. There is also what we call the minimum inventory level that should be always kept. This one is called the buffer inventory. At no time should we actually eat below 10,000. It's a reserve of inventory that should always be kept. For an expected increase in demand, we should have a minimum level of inventory that should always be kept in the what? In the business. We call that buffer inventory. Okay, but I said I wanted to add something. In this scenario, we can see that we had 60, and by week 1 we left with 10,000. And then we bought how much? 50,000. It is not always that we place our order right in week 1 so that we have the stock arriving. Sometimes otherwise our order was placed around somewhere here. Okay? Let me just put it on 30,000. Like this. This is called a reorder level. So that level of inventory that triggers a new order to be placed with the suppliers is called a reorder what? Level. Like in this case, you know that when we use up our inventory and we get to 30,000 units, we should call our suppliers and say, guys, can you please supply us with so much quantities? And remember, the inventory doesn't arrive there. Like if you can check here, an order was placed here, maybe this was maybe day 4. But the order only arrived in day what? 7. The difference in time between you placing an order and the arrival of the order is called the lead time. It's called the lead what? Lead time. The difference between you placing an order here and the arrival of the batch here. This one is called the lead what? That's the lead time. So when you're managing inventories, you should be very careful about your lead time. Sometimes the lead time can be shorter. Just in maybe 1 day or hours to reach out to your suppliers and the order is supplied right away. But for some products, right, the suppliers may be very far away and it may take even weeks, sometimes even months for the order to what? To arrive. So you need to know about the lead time. You need to know about calculating the reorder quantity and also what we call the reorder level, the maximum inventory level. You need to know that. These are inventory control charts. They are very useful. They are actually used when you're managing our inventory. Just like we use just in time as well. It's a way of managing inventory where we actually make sure that we get the raw materials and components only when they are needed for use. To try and minimize what we call inventory holding what? Cost. That is just in time. There's also just in case, whereby in this case we keep inventory. Okay? It's the opposite of just in time. We keep inventory to meet uncertainties in demand. So what will reduce that risk of running out of what? Of inventory. By making sure that at all times we have inventory with us. It's called just in case. It minimizes the risk of inventory out cost, but you are likely to incur inventory holding what? Cost. So this is what I can say about inventory control charts. If you have any questions, you can actually comment in the comment section, and we will actually reach out to help you with that. Thank you very much for following.